many people keep asking questions like, why do you classify? I'm going to tell you very many. Now, one of the reasons as to why we classify, we need to understand the vision of the farm. Now, for such a farm like Campering Farm, its vision is to become a breeder's farm. Now, if a breeder is going to give you a goat as a farmer who has come to buy a stock from them, you need to be sure of the blood percentages, because you need to understand what you're breeding or what you're going to do. Let me give you an example. If at all you want to have goats for meat, you need to understand that I want Boers or whichever other breed is available for meat. If you want goats for milk production, you need to understand that I want silage. And for any farmer, they would always want 100%. Sometimes in the ambitions that we do have, we need to bear in mind with the capital that we always use. For example, I may have capital that is enough to start with a 75%, but then I could buy 100% back. Now, that back that is 100% with time, it's going to help me achieve the target that I want. Over a period of time, I'll be able to have 100% breeds on the farm. That's important to take note of. So another thing about classification that we need to understand. You see, during classification, we take note of the age and the sex and all those other details, and we include them into the system. Now, when we have a unified age, let me say we have about 4 months, a batch of 4 months, we have a batch of 1 year, we have a batch of about 2 years, we understand their productivity, and it's always influential to understand the productivity of these different batches. So classification in it is a very important part to take note of. It's just like disease management strategy. If at all you are to realize the break-even point of the farm, you need to take note of the classification. So before we leave the pens and the play area of the goats, we need to understand, for goats on total zero grazing systems, you need to pay a lot of attention on the pastures, how you harvest them, how you apply them, because they do not get any other supplements from outside. It's totally from silage and dry hay and molasses, plus a few more supplements and the stones. And so let's come on and let's go to the pastures and have a look at them. Now, as you can see, the plantation, it has the pastures. There is maize that will be used for silage and some other pastures that will be used for hay. Now, on this farm, as a model farm, you can see that the hay is dried, not under direct sunshine, but in the house, which is shielded with these steps, these foils. These foils prevent it from direct heat, so that it can dry properly. Now, you may ask, there is a question people always ask me, why is it that the time of harvesting is such a big deal? Now, the time of harvesting of these pastures is so critical because these pastures accumulate their natural sugars in the evening, like during the course of the day. Now, in the evening, that's when the sugars are concentrated. So that's the time that we cut those pastures and then put them under the shade to dry. Sometimes you ask yourself a question, how much land is available or how much land is enough to cultivate your pastures? Can be calculated based on the target number of animals that you have in your vision. If you want 2,000 animals in your overall vision as well, it can be calculated and we can give you the amount that you require in terms of hectares or acres. So if you need to calculate the amount of land that you need to cultivate based on the number of animals that you want or the target that you need, feel free to contact Minute Farms Limited. You can find us on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on YouTube, on all our social media platforms, and also we have a website. So feel free to search us, Minute Farms on Facebook.